The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
In 1986, this boy's name was Arthur. He came over from Russia as a 5-year-old. Now, Russian Jewry, you know about, thousands of them came to this country, and so rabbis in this country started to try to build yeshivot for Russian Jews. One of them is the yeshiva here in Brooklyn called Sinai Academy. Ever heard of the name? Yeah. And you know, Sinai Academy is yeshiva. It's run by Russians for Russian children. So this boy Arthur's parents were totally not religious, but they didn't want their son to go to public school, so they sent him to this Sinai Academy. He was a good student. The rabbis were into him. It was great. Now he graduates elementary school, and I believe he went to public high school. And in the process, he started to find that he has a really great dancing skill. He was a great dancer. His grandparents started to hire him trainers, started to learn dancing, and now the world of dance, when you're talking about in the professional level, is not a very Jewish kind of flavor, you know, and he's dancing with these suits, and you know how they do it. I never saw it, but I think the Olympics and all that stuff. Okay. So they're having a dance tournament. A little while before the tournament, he goes to a wedding, and he sees this old rabbi from Sinai Academy. He says, "Arthur, what's up?" He says, "I'm into dance." And he says, "It's great what you're doing for your life, but what are you doing for your future?" He says, "I'm doing dance." He says, "No. When you're 80, 90 years old, you look back at your life, what are you going to say you were? What did you do for your neshama?" He's like, "I don't know." He says, "What are you going to have accomplished? What are you going to be?" It really rattled Arthur. So he came home, and for the next few weeks, he was like thinking about this. He went to his rabbi's house, actually, for a Shabbat, and it was on his mind. Anyhow, he joined the tournament in Brooklyn to choose the top dancers in Brooklyn, which is pretty big. Big city in New York. Top dancers in Brooklyn. He had this partner. Her name was Clara. I think she was Jewish. And the two of them were starting to dance, and they won one round after another round after another round. Story goes, and he tells the story, that one night he had a dream from his grandfather. His grandfather told him, "Arthur, what are you doing?" And the dream ended. Well, a couple of days later, he was in the final. As the day before the final, he goes into the dressing room, and he starts to he's sweating and he's nervous. And he tells Clara, "I can't do it." She says, "What do you mean? We're at the final. There's thousands of people in the stands. They're waiting to see we're going to win." He says, "This path it just doesn't go anywhere healthy. I become a dancer. I become part of that whole society. I'm not." She says, "What are you talking about? We're about to win. Our families are outside. They're waiting to see us." He says, "I'm sorry, Clara. I know it's not. I feel so bad. It's just, I can't do it. I just realized that where this is going to lead. I win this, then I start all the fanfare, and I get endorsements, and I go on to the next tournament, I'm not even going to know I'm Jewish ever again." He says, "I'm out." And he left right before the final. When you make a move like that, you're not just sending a message to the world, you're sending a message to yourself. He went and joined Esh HaTorah, went to Muncie, Israel, studied for a few years, got married, had children. A few years after the tournament, he was walking on the streets of Brooklyn, and he sees this religious girl in the distance. And he's like, "I recognize that girl." He gets closer. It's Clara. He says, "What happened to you?" He says. She says, "That night, when you left that," I said, "How is this possible? All this glory, all this money, how is it possible that he left?" And I started to think, what is life about? And what does it mean? And what's it? He says, and I started to change my life too. And she said, I got married, and this little baby that I'm wheeling is my son. I'm a religious Jewish girl today. Because one night can be your one opportunity.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org